Hello. Welcome back. Hope you're well. This video is not going to be a game this week. I decided to do a true sort of spooky Victorian style, not ghost story, but like it's a true story. It's a true crime type story. So I just thought I'd do that this week. Yeah, I'm going to stop waffling. I'll get on and hope you enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side. The Lambeth Poisoner, a Victorian true crime horror. Today, we step back in time to the gaslit streets of Victorian London, where a respected doctor hid a sinister secret. This is a true story of Thomas Neill Cream, a man who played the role of a healer by day and poisoner by night. Was he just a cold-blooded killer, or something even darker? In the gaslit fog of Victorian London, where shadows stretched long down cobbled alleyways and death was often just a whisper away, there lived a man who wore a mask of a healer, but hid the heart of a murderer. Dr. Thomas Neill Cream was a tall, well-spoken man. He was intelligent, clean-shaven, and he was respected. To the outside world, he was a physician, a gentleman, a man of science. But beneath the starched collar and the polite smile was rot. They called him the Lambeth Poisoner, and his hands, gloved though they were, left behind a trail of corpses, cold, twisted and contorted in agony. Cream's story began far from England, in Canada and America, where the dead first began to follow him like ghosts. In Chicago, in 1881, a young woman died shortly after visiting his clinic. Storicine, they said, a poison that seizes your muscles, curls your spine, and chokes the breath from your lungs, all while your mind remains horrifyingly alert. But Cream was clever. He vanished before they could touch him. Years later, he appeared again, this time in Lambeth, poor district of South London. The year was 1891. The air was thick with coal smoke and disease. The very streets stank of death. It was a perfect hunting ground for him. There, Cream began to play doctor once more, only now he targeted women. Vulnerable, desperate women. Often sex workers, often ill. He promised them medicine, advice, a way out. What he gave them instead was chloroform and poison. Matilda Clover was just 30 years old, healthy, strong, until the night she met Dr. Cream. Within hours, she was dead. Her body frozen mid-spasm, hands clenched as though grasping at unseen terror. Her eyes wide and her mouth agape. And yet, no one suspected murder. Not at first. After all, in Lambeth, people died all the time. But then there was Alice Marsh, Louisa Harvey, Ellen Donworth. The pattern began to emerge. The killer's methods were strangely theatrical. He laced drinks, offered pills, and always left behind the same grotesque signs: twisted limbs, arched backs, agonised expressions that seemed to scream long after death. Still, Cream remained invisible, a gentleman in the eyes of the law. But the mask slipped, as it always does. You see, Cream wasn't just a murderer. He was arrogant. He wanted control, fame even. So he began to send letters, anonymous letters, accusing other men of murders that he had committed and threatening to expose them unless they paid. This was a fatal mistake. Scotland Yard noticed the similarities, the way each death had been written off too quickly, the poison, the fake accusations. Slowly, carefully, they closed in on him. And when they arrested him, Dr. Cream confessed, not with regret, not with shame, but with a calm, clinical precision, as if he were presenting a case study. He spoke of their deaths in a way a butcher might discuss cuts of meat. At trial, the evidence was overwhelming. The poison, the letters, the long string of bodies. And so, in the grey morning of November the 15th, 1892, Dr. Thomas Neill Cream was led to the gallows at Newgate Prison. He stood tall, composed, as the noose was slipped around his neck. The priest murmured some prayers, and the crowd watched in silence. Then, just before the trapdoor dropped, Cream leaned forward and whispered something. "I am Jack But the lever was pulled before he could finish. To this day, no one knows if he was claiming that he was the mantle of Jack the Ripper, simply reaching for it being infamous for one last breath. What we do know is that Dr. Thomas Neill Cream murdered at least 10 people. And beneath his gentlemanly veneer, behind the polished shoes and the medical bag, lurks something truly monstrous. He was not only the killer in London at the time, but he was one of the few to wear a doctor's smile, even when delivering death. If you found this story chilling, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more creepy true crime stories from the shadows of history. And let me know in the comments, do you think Cream really was Jack the Ripper? Or was he just a monster with a flair for drama? Well then, I enjoyed it. It was kind of the era of true crimes and things that happened that I enjoy the most. And the reason being is because of, obviously we weren't there, so we don't know how it felt, what went on, and all that sort of thing. And obviously of all things with Jack the Ripper and so on and so forth, it's not something that you can take lightly because these things happened. So I find it interesting, and also because I love watching sort of films and documentaries and all of that sort of stuff about that era. It's just something about it that just fascinates me hugely. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I also hope you enjoyed my video last week of the game, because my next video will be another game. I've decided already, because I've got another game to play, so that'll be my next one. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna just stop waffling on, because you've seen too much of me for one day, and there's just only so much you can take of me, I think. Anyway, have yourself a great day, and whatever you're doing, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.